guys, welcome back to the channel. So, James Gunn has responded to all of the panic that was caused yesterday by the Hollywood Reporter article claiming that Wonder Woman 3 was not current, that it was rejected, basically, the script that Patty Jenkins handed in. If you want to know more details about that article and everything that it was discussing and my take on it, you can watch my video from yesterday on the channel. But I'm sure if you're watching this, you have probably seen all of the stuff that is going around social media because of that article. And I think, like I said in my video yesterday, I think people need to calm down, take a deep breath, read it carefully, and really pay attention to what has been happening regarding DC instead of just what that article said. There have been plenty of articles over the years about DC that have caused a lot of, frenzy and panic. And it was, we just need to all calm down. So let's see what James Gunn said. So, as for the story yesterday in the Hollywood Reporter, some of it is true, some of it is half true, some of it is not true, and some of it we haven't decided yet whether it's true or not. Although this first month at DC has been fruitful, building the next 10 years of story takes time, and we're still just beginning. Peter and I chose to helm DC Studios knowing we were coming into a fractious environment, both in the stories being told and in the audience itself, and there would be an unavoidable transitional period as we moved into telling a cohesive story across film, TV, animation, and gaming. Shh. But in the end, the drawbacks of that transitional period were dwarfed by the creative possibilities and the opportunity to build upon what has worked in DC so far and to help rectify what has not. We know we are not going to make every single person happy every step of the way, but we can promise everything we do is done in the service of the story and in service of the DC characters we know you cherish and we have cherished our whole lives. As for more answers about the future of the DCU, I will sadly have to ask you to wait. We are giving these characters and the stories the time and attention they deserve, and we ourselves still have a lot more questions to ask and answer. I'm sure he saw all of the things floating around social media, people freaking out. I mean, there was tons of stuff trending today. As far as these topics are concerned, bring back Zack Snyder, fire James Gunn, Man of Steel 2, The Flash, Wonder Woman, all of these different things were trending for me, they were trending, depends what you interact with and follow on Twitter. But, I mean, it's caused a huge discussion. That article yesterday really sparked a lot of, panic and, oh my God, this is, the DC, everything, it's going to be done, it's going to be a reboot, everything is finished, everyone's gone. I just don't see that happening. Kind of like what I said yesterday in my video, and I think based on what James Gunn said, I still I feel the same way about that article. Like he said, some of it's true, half true, not true, and some of it we don't know yet. That's kind of how I felt reading that article yesterday. Is some of it, maybe like the Wonder Woman thing, probably pretty accurate, but again, people were kind of misinterpreting it to mean oh my God, they're going to recast Gal Gadot and, they don't want Gal Gadot anymore. And I mean, I did not interpret that at all from that article because it didn't have anything to say regarding her being recast. Just the fact that they said that the script that Patty Jenkins turned in does not fit in with their future plans for DC. That doesn't mean they don't want Gal Gadot. That doesn't mean they don't want to do another Wonder Woman movie. I'm sure they do. But that's not what the article said. The article didn't say, it just said that in its current incarnation, the script that Patty Jenkins turned in is not going to fit in with what they want for the future moving forward with DC. So really, if they still want to do another Wonder Woman movie, they just need obviously they want to go a different direction with her character. If anyone ends up getting replaced, I wouldn't say it would be Gal Gadot. I think it would be Patty Jenkins as director, which some people are already saying. I have seen things floating around already that she decided to leave the project. I don't know if it's true or not, but if it is, that would be less surprising. That wouldn't be very surprising. Okay, first of all, it's not a huge shock that they didn't like the script that she turned in, because she wrote it with Jeff Johns. And keep in mind, this was like after Wonder Woman 84. This is with the old regime still there. Well, they were probably already writing the third movie before Wonder Woman 84 came out. That's usually how that happens. They already know what the third movie is going to be, if and when it happens. They don't just start writing it because Wonder Woman 84 came out. No, they're already planning those things ahead of time. So at that time, she probably didn't have much of a choice to write it, but to write it with Jeff Johns. The old regime at that time was like, no, this is what's going to happen. We want him to be a writer. Like they just, and then it kind of like all of a sudden he kind of disappeared like during marketing for the movie. And we don't really, he's not going to really be involved with the movies as much anymore, not in the capacity that he was before, it seems like. So it's not really shocking that they didn't really take to the script that she wrote. And if they have a certain plan in mind, like it, of course, it obviously it has to fit in with that, because then it's going to seem like it's just kind of out of left field. And Wonder Woman 84 already felt that way. It didn't fit in with the rest of the DC universe. If she was writing the script a long time ago, then how's it going to fit in with what they're doing moving forward? No, only time will tell. And just like James Gunn said, we're just going to have to be patient and wait. So I think people, when these articles come out like this and they're saying like, this is going to happen, this is not going to happen, this is not going to happen, take a moment, like take a breath, really pay attention to what it's saying. Like pay close attention to how it's being written, because people tend to see, like people see these one-liner tweets or posts on Instagram. Oh, Wonder Woman 3 canceled. Henry Cavill might not be Superman. Jason Momoa might not come back to be Aquaman after the second movie. They just see those things and they don't actually read the article for themselves. And then they're freaking out like, oh my God, that's not, like, you got to read it and pay attention. And I think even more importantly, pay attention to what has actually been happening surrounding DC instead of just what's being said as rumors in a Hollywood Reporter article. That's why I don't think people need to be panicking about Henry Cavill as Superman. Pay attention to what David Zaslav has said recently. Pay attention to what's actually been happening. James Gunn has been pretty active on Twitter as far as like replying to people, doing things like this, responding to things that are being said in the media. So people just need to like calm down. We've been through this for years as DC fans, like seeing articles that are upsetting, reading articles coming out that are like, they get everyone riled up and like, oh my God, I'm done with this DC. I'm done with, everything's done. Everything's screwed. Everything's going to be, and just relax. Like, it's going to take time. Just like James Gunn said, there's going to be a kind of a painful transitional period. And he addressed that because he said that he and Peter Safran took on this job knowing that that's going to be part of it. They know there's a very passionate, like, vocal fan base about this kind of stuff. They know that there are ups and downs as far as the movies themselves that have come out. Like he said, they are considering what has worked in DC so far and to help rectify what has not. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that he probably, agrees with the fans on what has worked and what has not. I'm just going to say that. I highly doubt he thinks that, like, the theatrical version of Justice League or Birds of Prey or Wonder Woman 84, I highly doubt he thinks that that is what has worked in DC. Pretty sure he knows that that is on the list of what has not worked. So, and Peter Safran as well. I'm glad that he addressed this because people have just been really freaking out. And I think that article really got people to overreact to a lot of things. And I understand that things like that can be upsetting. Like, I understand, because these are things that we don't want things to get messed up. But the old regime was messing things up. Let's just keep that in mind. Okay? They were going to mess up everything, and it would have already been screwed by now because The Flash would have been out. And Ben Affleck's Batman and Superman we would have been crying still from watching that movie. Okay? So let's just keep in mind, it's like, just wait for, now, okay. When they release their plan publicly, officially, when they release their slate and give details about their plan, if they say, we're recasting these people, we're doing a total reboot, everyone who's been cast is out, we're starting over from scratch, we're not going along with anything that has been done before. Henry Cavill's out. Well, Gal Gadot is out. Jason Momoa's gone. Ben Affleck's gone. If they say that, or anything along those lines, then I can understand. Then, okay, it's definitely warranted for people to be like very upset. But just wait until they actually reveal their plan themselves to us in an official capacity. And then you know how you feel about it. Then people are going to have, then we'll have some more like, our reactions will be more warranted because then we'll know directly from them what's going on. Okay? They haven't even revealed their plan to David Zaslav yet. And everyone's freaking out still. So chill. Thank you guys for all the support on the channel. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when I post a new video. And thank you guys so much. See you soon.